Now the Bible's fucked up too. And it's fucked up in a big way, man. Not just fucking couple little things here and there. Pages and pages rewritten. I don't need to fucking point out exactly where. All you gotta do is open the fucking thing up. You're gonna find some fucking fucked up shit. The whole fucking thing, man. It ain't no small affair, man. It ain't a tiny little fucking thing that you're just gonna go about your business and fucking just ignore it.
Hey guys, it's Meeks again. I'm in a frowny face mood. No, not really. I'm not actually sad, but it is funny to notice a sad face emoji in scripture. Look at this, guys. Will you look at this with me? Okay, hold on, I'm trying to point it to you. Okay, will you look at this, guys? We've got a parentheses mark, and then a colon after it. For what reason? Does grammar usually work like this, guys? Have you ever seen a whole sentence or most of a sentence, an unpunctuated sentence within parentheses, and then they just like throw in a colon. They started the sentence in parentheses. For what reason? I don't know if there was a reason. I guess, and they just thought they could throw in parentheses and colons wherever they wanted without rhyme or reason or without justification for doing so. So that's very strange, guys. We all know that the grammar wasn't this willy-nilly when the King's men were compiling this in 1611, or when the people who were chosen, most likely incredibly, intensely well-educated people who were chosen to update the Bible in 1873, do you think they would have been this crazy, just 4 sheets to the wind with this grammar? Do you think they would have been like, oh, you know what, we're starting a new sentence, let's just throw in a random parentheses mark? Do you think they would have chosen to come on, guys? And then
I don't need to fucking point out exactly where. All you gotta do is open the fucking thing up. You're gonna find some fucking fucked up shit. The whole fucking thing, man. It ain't no small affair, man. It ain't a tiny little fucking thing that you're just gonna go about your business and fucking just ignore it. But you are. Don't ignore it, man. Get God, man. You know what? I'm glad at least I got common sense now, and I know when it's fucked up. I know what's right and what's wrong, but y'all don't.
they used to put a semicolon in as a winky. Winky, winky, after a thief. Winky, winky, But then, like, on that other page, we have, okay, so, again, you have, and then you have a colon before a parenthesis. So it's like, now it's happy. Don't disregard this. So frown, extended frown emoji, and then happy face emoji. It just makes no sense, guys. I mean, can anyone explain how the use of semicolons and parentheses could be so willy-nilly? It could just be so nonsensical. I mean, seriously, guys, what is the point of having these decisions in here? What's the point of having anything in here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like they were just inserting things in totally at random, but I know that's not how the KJV always read.
Y'all don't know. Y'all believe that they landed on the fucking moon. That they had their the booster rockets fucking land that shit on the moon and kick up no dust, leave no crater, while they're having conversations on their radio as they're fucking landing, and they're sitting on a 10,000 horsepower fucking rocket that's silent. Man, you gotta use better judgment than that, man. You're gonna go off NASA, and you're gonna sit here and say, "Why is NASA fucking? Why? Or what would they gain from this?" Who cares? The point is, there's no curvature, man. The shit don't add up. They're lying to you. Stop looking at me, man. Look at yourself. Because you're wrong if you think it's a globe. You're wrong if you think this don't matter. You're wrong if you think it's okay. You're wrong if you think that this shit is just a small affair, that there ain't it's no big deal. As long as you don't look at it. As long as you don't look at it and you don't see it, you wouldn't know the difference anyways. The whole fucking thing's fucked up, man.
It's Christmas Eve already, and it does feel like this year's gone fast, don't you think? I know a lot of you do, because you've all been saying it to me within the community, that time seems to be going faster now. Well, it is, and today I'm going to prove it to you. When I got my watch, of course, it's the watch. Even when you look on a clock, look at the seconds ticking on that. Doom, doom, doom. Look how fast that is. Now, if you're from the old world, you will remember a couple of ways that you can count up seconds so that you don't go too fast when you're counting. In America, they use 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. In England, or like Britain, we use 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, and that's how you get it to almost an exact second. Well, let's try that with the dibber on there. Okay, so we're looking at the seconds there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let's try and count in the old-fashioned way. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000. It's clicking twice before you've got there. Time has literally doubled in speed. As I say, I've noticed this a lot more because of having this watch. I've not worn a watch for years. I got a really strong feeling about this and knew I had to buy it. I didn't understand why at the time. I do now, because it was laying in bed and listening to the ticking. And I'm laid there at night thinking, God, that's fast. And another thing I've noticed is time seems to go faster at night than it does in the day. Try it for yourself. You'd now have to change the way you count seconds. 1 missy, 2 missy, 3 missy, or 1 1, 2 2, 3 3. And you're up to the next second already. There's no doubt about it in my mind that time has sped up.
You know what I noticed again in here during our discussion today on the EYA channel. P.S. She has over 800 videos of the Bible changes now. Please check it out. We were scanning through the New Testament today, and I was in John, and I happened to see another, guys, it's another instance of Mo in here, and it looked so Oh, it just looks so silly, guys. We have Mo Miracles. Mo Miracles now in here. Guys, how you gonna defend this? How would you even begin to defend this mess? That is completely not right. You wouldn't leaf through the KJV and see craziness like this. And again, I know people are gonna try, oddly enough, to defend this and say, oh, that was always in there like that. But guys, I'm asking you to use your common sense and just think for yourself. Does this look right? Does this look like something that's always been in? This is not just a typo, guys, because I've seen MOE instead of more all over the place in scripture now. It's popping up more and more, Mo and Mo, and it looks totally wrong. John 7:31, and many of the people believed on him and said, when Christ cometh, will he do mo miracles than these, which this man hath done? When Christ cometh, will he do mo miracles? You gotta be kidding me to say this is normal. The words are supernaturally changing on the page. This is what this effect is. It's crazy.
Listen, the unaffected, the folks that don't see nothing wrong with this reality. And listen, I now have a wife of 17 years that, well, doesn't see much wrong with it. I got a friend of 44 years, he's my age, 53, that tells me his reality is the same. Nothing's different. Nothing. How many unaffected individuals does it take to screw in a light bulb? 3. 1, to screw in the light bulb, and 2, to criticize them. Listen, the unaffected, and what amuses me is, and you can find them on YouTube. There's one guy was making videos making fun of the affected. And then all of a sudden I take a look and now he's affected. Hello? Anybody home? Come on, man. Anyway, listen, folks, I'm talking to the affected now. You're not crazy. Not one little bit. The unaffected are under a strong delusion. If you're going to sit there and watch the boob tube, the television, and turn on the news and sit, unless you're like I do, if you turn it on, you're sitting, you're just laughing hysterically or looking for material for comedy or something. If you're going to sit there and believe that, let me tell you something. You better make a space in the cuckoo ward. Cuckoo, cuckoo. It's so cuckoo it knocked my headphones off. Wow. 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 And then they sit and they watch these celebrities. Oh, man. Look, we actually have one celebrity, a really funny guy, a Mr. Jim Carrey, who's aware, I believe, that his name has changed. There's an extra R in it now. And he's trying to alert the masses. Not even he can do it. Guy's worth probably, I don't know, half a billion. Can't do it. You're not crazy affected, folks. You're the sane folks.
I mean, would you make excuses? Would you just shrug it off, forget it, or would you be mad? The reason I ask this question is I'm a little mad right now because everybody's just shrugging off stuff right now, it seems like to me. Ever since I can remember, I'm 37 years old right now, and ever since I can remember being a little boy is being told the sun and the moon are in space, okay? Shut the video off right now if it don't make no sense or you don't care, I don't care, okay? But they just told us that the moon is in our atmosphere. Last I heard, the moon was 294,000 miles away, and that our atmosphere only extended about 124 miles up. That's 100,000 mile difference. I mean, that's a lot of miles for them to be like, oh, shoot, snaps, 50, 60 years later, $60 billion later that we done took of taxpayer money, okay? All of a sudden, they done switched it up. And I'm mad because I don't feel like it's an honest explanation. I feel like they're backpedaling because there's a lot of truths coming out and there's things that they need to do and say just to make certain people feel better. It ain't making me feel better. Do not trust what these people are telling you. Obviously, they don't know what they're talking about. The moon was in space. Now it's inside of our atmosphere in our sky. And that's just nothing to everybody. Nobody cares. But that's just goes to show how docile everybody is, how brainwashed everybody is, indoctrinated. And a lot of people are walking around with, I have to say the word, cognitive dissonance. You can show somebody the way, but that don't mean they got to go that way. You know what I mean? I understand. But I got people looking at me like I'm retarded, like I'm crazy, like I'm an idiot, like I'm a moron, I'm retarded. Really, bro, I'm not doing bad at all. Trust and believe. God got my back. And that's the reason I feel like I'm doing good, because I'm fighting for his. I feel like nobody's fighting for God. They don't want us to believe in God. And I thought my initial very first reaction was, well, it is northwest of DC. And, you know, for sure, this person must be wrong, you know? So, I mean, and now, so I jump online and I look and I just typed in Baltimore and looked into Google to look at Google Maps. And there it is in a completely different place. It's on the other side of DC. I mean, it blew me away. Now, I grew up, I went to high school in the DC area. I grew up in Northern Virginia, in Springfield. And I lived there for years, for many, many years. I lived there and then I went away and I came back. And I had driven to Baltimore a couple times over all those years that I had lived there. And never, ever, I mean, it just blows me away. I stood there looking at the map for the longest time and I was like, I cannot believe my physical eyes. Like, this cannot be for real. This is not where it's located. That one for me was the one it was like the clincher. That was the one where I literally almost fell off my chair. So, Mandela. I do remember that he was in jail, and that's about it. I do remember when the news came out that he became president and he was leading people. I remember thinking that, wow, you know, I thought he had died. I don't remember, it wasn't like a huge, you know, like I just figured that I must have been wrong. But I do remember thinking that, and it was a fleeting thought, but I remember thinking I thought he had died in jail. I can't even believe that other people aren't remembering this. It was ubiquitous. This logo was on every pair of underwear and every t-shirt, and I remember it with the cornucopia. I can't believe it. I saw on the internet that a designer, so I've been through brand changes before. You know, I've been involved in the process, so I understand that brands change. And my initial thought with this one and with some of the other brand changes is that maybe, you know, they updated their brand. And, you know, that's the case, you would think, with a lot of them. And anytime I ever saw a brand change, that's always what I assumed. But then what it just baffled my mind is going on and seeing online and seeing that the brand is actually, it's never had a cornucopia, never. So that to me is completely not, I mean, that's just shocking to me, why that would be the case. So, you know, just all the way back through time just blows me away. I can understand to a certain degree that things online may change. I mean, everything online is made of code. And, you know, I understand, you know, it's in a way you can sort of get that everything online is mutable. But the world, what blew me away and what really, you know, were geography changes and changes to things like a physical statue. How that is just blows me away. And that's what shows me for certain that there's something going on here. Hopefully somebody has gone out and taken, well, yeah, I went online and I've seen the pictures and everything. I just, it's hard for me to believe, but yes, I remember it with the way many other people remember, with his hand like that. And now it looks almost like silly to me that he's, the pose that he's in.
I don't know, it's kind of scary. Because the people that don't notice these changes actually get quite violent or totally just ignore you. They get mean. They get mad. Like, how dare you notice this? That's why I'm questioning it so much, I think. Why? Are we missing something? We don't remember something? They do, and I don't know, maybe we're just not supposed to be in on the secret this time. Maybe we're the ones that are supposed to be wiped out. I'm alright. I'm not going to say exactly how old I am. I'm in my 40s, okay? And I remember vividly people being able to go up into the Statue of Liberty's torch. I'm a New Yorker, alright? So, and I don't live in New York City, alright? I don't. I live in upstate. In fact, pretty much on the other side of the state. But I vividly remember people being able to go up there when I was a kid. My mom remembers people going up there when she was a kid. But in 1916, the bomb went off there, and, well, it went off on Liberty Island. No, not Liberty Island. It went off on the other, where they had a barracks over there and arsenal, and they blew up the arsenal in 1916. And they said that the Statue of Liberty was damaged so badly that nobody's been able to go up into the torch since then. I gotta look it up again and save up some pictures so I can pop some on here. I'm new at this video thing yet, okay? So, you know, you gotta give me a little credit. I'll work on getting some pictures and stuff. But I found earlier today I was looking around a little bit, and I found a few pictures on the internet of people in the torch, pictures from the torch. So, but if you look on the internet now, it says 1916, a bomb blew up and shrapnel hit the Statue of Liberty and damaged it structurally. Sorry, flicking my ashes. So, I don't know. I don't understand it. So, yeah, especially if you can find any trickles of the past, or the other world, or whatever you want to call it, the other dimension, the other, I don't know. And anybody out there that sees this, and I hope sometime that somebody that sees this has something to do with like CERN, that would be nice. Yeah, because maybe you can answer a few questions for me. And I'm wondering, or maybe one of those guys that run one of those what the hell are they called now? The quantum computers. Yeah. That's somebody I'd like to sit down with for about, I don't know, a week or two, because that's probably how long it's going to take to get any information I can understand. Maybe we're next on the list. Anybody else ever hear about all the FEMA coffins? Yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Gee, why would we need that many damn coffins from FEMA? I could be totally wrong. Scary part is if I'm right. Yeah.
Okay, so here's Roget's International Thesaurus. It's from, I think it's 1946. And I've been using this a fair bit in the last month and even last week. And then today, I'm going through it. And yeah, looking up a word, and everything seemed to be, what you might expect. And then suddenly, look at that. The next page, one page to the next, then the page is brand new. I mean, I could say, oh, well, I don't know that it's new. I mean, this was published, it was published a lot of years ago. Well, there we go. How do you miss that? So these pages, I mean, look at that. These, there's a whole section here that's nearly white, feels brand new, and smell-wise, I won't smell it right now, but this smells like an old book. Okay, smells like an old book. This I smelled it, and I'm like, whoa, it smells like it came off a press. I mean, what? I'm really trying to not say certain words right now.
There's no doubt that they have artificial. Listen, man, if I was a minister and I acknowledge what is happening to the King James Bible, that is what I would do. I would have 50 people in my church volunteer. Look, we're not going to sit here and do nothing while a group of criminals with this CERN technology, or however this quantum effect, however they're doing this, intelligent supercomputers that can monitor the power grid and go into every house and do all kinds of, things things that we would consider science fiction, they can actually do that. There is something you can do about it, 50 people, old typewriters, when you make copies, have your power source offline power source so that no supercomputer can monitor what you are doing.
I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining. Well, this episode is about people new to the Mandela Effect, and I'm just trying to set a lot of people's mind at ease, because I know a lot of people are waking up to the effect, and it can be pretty overwhelming at first, and so I want to definitely take the time to set your mind at ease, give you an optimistic look about these changes, but also I want to make sure you don't go back to sleep either, because this is the real deal. It's definitely happening. In fact, I can say I'm not 100% about anything, but it's in that 99.9% happening thing, because I'm not even sure I'm awake right now, or I'm not in some kind of simulator or something. But as sure as I know what my name is, I can tell you I know the Mandela Effect is definitely happening. A while back I had found some residue for the Lion and the Lamb, which I know that was the very first thing that, I'd heard about the Mandela Effect for about a year, and then I was listening to Joseph Reyna on the Leak Project, and when he mentioned the Lion and the Lamb, now said the wolf and the lamb, I just knew I knew he must have misspoke. So I looked it up in the Bible, and sure enough, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb. That's Isaiah 11:6, and my mind was officially blown. And after that, I looked into some of the other things and saw the Rodin's thinker statue, which I had one as a kid, and I know the fist was to the forehead. So yeah, my mind was blown. I know those things just like I know my name. They've definitely changed, and there's no proof that they've ever been that way except little bits of residue. One of those is a movie. I've heard people say that their pastor doesn't see the Mandela Effect happening, but maybe they're from a different timeline. Okay, if you've got different timelines, and I'm okay with the timeline thing working for some of the changes. I'm okay with there being multiple causes for the Mandela Effect, but the Bible isn't one of them. And the reason for that is there's residue. If you got off of one train and got into another train, as if they're timelines, there wouldn't be stuff from the first train and the second train that were different. The things that are the same might be the same, and you might come across that. But if there's things that was in the first train from the second, it wouldn't be there unless there was some kind of merging together, which I know some people believe that too. And if you look in the Bible and look at some of the things like the 10 Commandments were written on tables instead of tablets now, and your preacher says that there's nothing happening, I think it's a cop-out to give him the excuse that, oh, well, maybe he's from a different timeline, that he doesn't see these things. I would say, because I mentioned in another broadcast, that if your pastor or preacher or whatever isn't seeing these changes, that you're at the wrong church. The people that aren't seeing these are either deceived, or they aren't even looking at it seriously. I remember when I first saw the Bible changing, I was freaked out. I was frankly, I was really pissed off, because it felt like some hackers had got in there and just started hacking up the Word of God. That's how I felt at first. And the whole reason this awakening is happening is so people can get out of the church. Not get away from God, not get away from Jesus, but get out of the man-made structure of the church, because it's fear-based, and it's a control mechanism. So now there's all sorts of typos. There's all sorts of grammatical problems, and they don't go across all of the different versions of the Bible. You can check the NASB and see tables is spelled tablets, as it should be. You could see in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, the very first verse in the Bible that's been changed to just read in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. If you look in the NASB, it's still in there the right way.
As long as you don't look at it. As long as you don't look at it and you don't see it, you wouldn't know the difference anyways. The whole fucking thing's fucked up, man. Now, how did it happen? How did it happen? It's been in my possession the whole time. This other one right here. Slightly different version. Same fucking thing. Google it. It's changed. On the Google. Changed in your book. Changed in all the books. Or maybe it was always like that. No, it hasn't always been like that. Don't sit there also so sure of yourself that that's impossible. Because it happened. There's the proof. Don't ignore it. I'll tell you how it happened. It happened for fucking demons from Satan, man. What you think? Through black magic. Supernatural. You don't think this is going to have an effect on the future? Why don't you read it and find out? See what it says now. Now you know what. This being the only thing that you can count on. Why do you think they fucking went and fucked it all up? Now there ain't that. Good luck.
And then y'all still won't understand what's going on. Like, y'all do not get it. Y'all do so many videos and y'all still stuck on point one. You still stuck on the whole fact that this is not the same and that's not the same. Alright. So now what you gonna do? It's something else you missing. Alright? So if it's not the same to you, and it's the same to everything else, then what the fuck is that telling you? Something is wrong. Your ass has been abducted, man. They kidnapped you and me. It sounds like a game. But every time you look at that Fruit Loop box, just know you ain't where you supposed to be. Alright? When you thinking it's a joke because, oh, you need self-proof, and then when you receive that self-proof, you realize it's not a fucking game. You've been abducted. When you get self-proof, you begin to realize you have been kidnapped from your planet. This is not your home. You are from Earth 1. They took your ass from Earth 1. Matter of fact, you are the program. You know the zeros and ones that's on the matrix, on the green, the black screen with the green numbers, zeros and ones? That's you. You are the program. You are those zeros and ones. And they took your program out of Earth 1. And they plugged it into Earth 2. And when they did that, it caused some type of fucking virus that caused you to realize the fucking changes or some shit. So by that happening, it fucked things up. You are not even supposed to realize it. You're supposed to be going on through life regular. Alright? But the thing is, it's happening now.
The wisdom of God will fill the land as water fills the sea. The lion will lie down with the lamb. The lion will lie down with the lamb. There will be no more killing or destroying. And the voice of weeping shall be heard no more.